Very famous passage in the Gospel of Matthew.
This is cool.
You can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Matthew chapter 16. It says, this is verse 13. When Jesus came into the region of Caesarea Philippi, there's the palace right there. This is the region of Caesarea Philippi. He asked his disciples, saying, "Who do men say that I, the Son of Man, am?" Jesus' favorite self-description was Son of Man. That's puzzled New Testament scholars since the beginning. Why did he call himself that? And there are two Bible passages that we draw on. One is the book of Ezekiel. When Ezekiel had the vision in the first chapter of his book of God, it was so overwhelming that he fell on his face, and God told him to stand, and then God called him Ben Adam, Son of Man. And the contrast between God and Ezekiel as a human being is drawn out by that. But then in the book of Daniel, chapter 7, there's a vision that Daniel has of the Ancient of Days, which pictures the Father, and then one like the Son of Man who came before him. And we believe he had a vision of Jesus in heaven approaching the Father. So Son of Man comes from that. So who do people say that I am? So they said, some say John the Baptist, some say Elijah, others Jeremiah, one of the prophets. Remember I told you that people were looking for more than one Messiah, and they were trying to figure out which one Jesus might have been. And then Jesus says, "But who do you say that I am?" And then the famous words, Simon Peter answered and said, "You are Hamashiach," he would have said, the Messiah. Our New Testament says Christ, which is the Greek translation, and it means anointed one. You are Hamashiach, the Son of the living God. And Jesus answers him by saying, "Blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you." That is, you could possibly figure this out on yourself, but God has spoken through you. My Father's in heaven has said that. And I say to you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church. Now here's a wonderful joke that can only be done in Greek. The disciples and Jesus were all trilingual. Their first language was Aramaic. That was their mother tongue. Jewish boys learned to speak Hebrew so they could read Torah. And because they were in the Galilee, they were speaking Greek at the time. In order to work in the Galilee, one had to be able to speak Greek. It was predominantly Gentile, and Greek was the language of the people. So this passage only works in Greek. It was with a dramatic gesture, I believe, to this massive stone edifice behind us. You see it? With this huge cave. Do you see that? And you see the water. Oh, you can't very well now. Down low. But you see the water down there? In prehistoric times, the water came out of the cave. Now it comes from way below, but that's where the stream is. So this is a place where worship of gods has been done from prehistoric times. And in Jesus' day, there's a whole network of shrines, both in Jesus' day and later, up to the 5th century. When you climb up there, you're going to see shrine after shrine after shrine. And so Jesus, with a dramatic gesture of his arm, pointing to that rock, and then he turns to Peter, and he calls him Petros. Now, why didn't I prepare for this? I need a pebble.
A pebble.
Good. This is what I need.
You got to have
He
a
says,
pebble.
Your Petros, that's the Greek word, which means a small stone. This is a really big stone behind us. But what you've said is the Petra the massive stone, which is the foundation of the church. So Peter is not the foundation of the church, but what he said is, he is a small stone. We're all small stones. But Peter's confession that Jesus is HaMashiach, the Son of the living God, that's the foundation on which the whole church is built. And Jesus used this dramatic scene behind us. All of world religion can be summarized as this stone face with a water coming out, all false religion. And Peter has stated the essence of true faith. Jesus, Yeshua of Nazareth, is HaMashiach, the Messiah, and he's the Son of the living God. So that's the heart of biblical
Amen.
faith. And it all happened right here. That's just so wonderful to
That's
see.
hard to get your head around.
Now then,